I don't even know how to start this, but I guess the best way is to say, I've never been the type to believe in weird stories online. I used to laugh at hacked stories, thinking most were fake or just overhyped. But after what happened to me a few months ago, I've stopped laughing. I was a grad student, living alone in a quiet off-campus apartment. I didn't go out much, mostly stayed inside, studying or working on papers. I used my personal email for everything: school, food orders, online shopping, even notes to myself. One Sunday night, I was pulling an all-nighter to finish a paper. Around 2:30 a.m., I got up to make coffee. While waiting for the machine to finish, I walked back to my laptop. I saw something strange. A new tab was open with my Gmail account. I didn't remember opening it. At first, I thought maybe I'd left. It opened by accident. But then I noticed something weird. It was my drafts folder. There were 5 new drafts that I definitely didn't write. I opened the first one. It just said, "I see you." The second draft, "You type loud." The third, "You smell like coffee." I stopped reading. My heart was pounding so hard I could hear it in my ears. I looked around the apartment. It was quiet. Too quiet. I live alone. No one else has my Wi-Fi password. My phone was locked. My laptop password protected. I didn't know what to do. I opened the 4th draft. "You always scratch your neck when you're scared. You're doing it right now." I froze. I was scratching my neck. I slammed the laptop shut and backed away from the desk. I grabbed my phone and called my friend Jordan, who lives in the same building. I told him something creepy was going on and begged him to come over. He showed up within minutes, holding a baseball bat, joking around like I was being paranoid. But then I opened my laptop again while he was there. All 5 drafts were gone. Every single one. Even the browser history didn't show any activity on Gmail. I told Jordan I wasn't crazy, that I saw the messages. He tried to calm me down and said maybe it was a weird pop-up or prank email. But I know what I saw. I know my own account. Later that night, I reset all my passwords, logged out of every device, and added 2-factor authentication. I even got a new router and changed my internet provider. I thought it was over. But 2 nights later, I got a notification on my phone. A new device had logged into my email. It was my own laptop. I was sitting on my bed. The laptop was closed, charging on the desk. I hadn't touched it. I got up slowly, walked over, and opened it. The Gmail page was already open. Another draft was sitting there. Just one. It said, "Nice try. I never left." I deleted the entire email account that same night. But the story doesn't end there. A week later, I got a package in the mail. No return address. Inside was a flash drive. I plugged it into an old computer I didn't use anymore, one that had never been online. There was only one file, a text file. It said, "Drafts are safe. They don't send alerts. That's why I like them." I haven't used email the same way since. I barely use it at all now. I still don't know who it was. No one's ever confessed. Nothing else has happened, but every time I open my inbox, I check the drafts first, just in case. I still remember that cold autumn night like it was yesterday, even though it happened almost 6 months ago. It was the kind of night where the wind howled outside, rattling the windows and making the trees scrape against the house like fingernails on a chalkboard. I was in my small bedroom in my parents' old house, getting ready to sleep. But before I did, I decided to check my email one last time. I always did that. Just a quick scan before bed. I logged in as usual. Nothing strange. Just the normal spam and a few work messages. I closed the laptop and turned off the light. But then, about 30 minutes later, My phone buzzed with a new email notification. I sat up. It was from myself. The subject line was blank. No message. I opened it. It was empty. I thought it was just a glitch. I ignored it and went back to bed. Minutes later, my phone buzzed again. Another email from me. This time, the message said only, "I'm watching." I froze. My blood ran cold. I flipped on the light and grabbed my laptop. I logged into my email again. I was terrified to find the inbox full of emails I never sent. Some were replies to people I didn't know. Others were messages to friends, but the tone was weird, creepy, almost threatening. One email to my coworker said, "You think you can ignore me? Think again." Another to my mom, "Don't trust the locks." I panicked and tried to change my password, but it wouldn't let me. Every time I typed a new one, it said the password was incorrect, even though it was brand new. Then I noticed something else. My sent folder was filling up fast. Hundreds of emails I didn't send. And they were all being sent to people I knew, strangers, even my school's administration office. I called my friend Maya. She told me to stop using the account and change passwords from another device. But when I tried to log out, the account wouldn't log out. It was like someone else had control. The worst was yet to come. At about 2 a.m., my laptop screen went black. I thought it crashed, then it turned on by itself. The screen showed my inbox, but it was different. The emails were rearranged and a new message appeared at the top. "Let's play." Below that was a countdown timer. It started at 5 minutes. My hands shook so hard I dropped the laptop. I scrambled to pick it up and shut it down. It kept turning on. Every time I powered it off, it woke back up seconds later. The timer ticked down. I felt like I was losing my mind. Then my phone buzzed again. This time it wasn't an email notification. It was a text message from an unknown number. The message said, "You can't hide. I'm in your devices. I'm in your life." I called my parents' number, but the call wouldn't go through. The Wi-Fi stopped working on everything. I was trapped in my own room, with no way to reach help online. I tried to sleep, but I could hear my own heartbeat pounding in the silence. My phone kept lighting up with weird noises, static, breathing, clicks. The next morning, the internet came back. I checked my email. Everything was back to normal. No strange emails. No countdowns. No weird drafts. But the feeling never left me. Deleted the account and switched to a new one. Still, sometimes at night, when the wind is loud, my phone lights up with a notification. It's always from an unknown sender. The messages say things like, "I'm still here," or "Check your inbox." I never open those messages. I never will. Because I know whoever hacked me isn't done yet. They never will be. I've always been careful with my email. I use strong passwords, two-factor authentication, everything. But what happened to me changed how I see privacy forever. It started about 2 months ago. I was living in my college dorm, a small room, on the 3rd floor of a quiet building. Nothing much ever happened there. Just studying, chatting with friends, and the usual college stuff. One afternoon, after class, I opened my laptop to check my email. I noticed something weird right away. My inbox had an email I didn't recognize. The sender was me. The subject line said, "Remember this?" I clicked it open. The email was blank except for a single sentence. "You can't hide what you did." My stomach dropped. I didn't understand. What did "what you did" mean? I quickly checked the rest of my inbox. There were no other emails from me. Nothing seemed out of place. Thinking it was just a mistake or some strange prank, I deleted the email. But that night, things got worse. Around midnight, I was lying in bed scrolling on my phone when I got a text message. No number. Just the message. I'm inside your email. I see everything. I thought maybe a friend was joking. But then my email app on my phone opened by itself. A new email appeared from me. The subject was, "Your secret is out." I didn't open it. I sat frozen. My room was dark except for the dim light of the phone screen. The walls felt like they were closing in. I tried to shut down the phone, but it wouldn't respond. I remember the cold feeling creeping up my spine, like icy fingers brushing my neck. I finally forced the phone off and threw it on the bed. The next day, I told my roommate Sam. He looked serious and told me to check my emails sent folder. I did. There were dozens of emails I never sent. All of them had the subject line, "You lied." The messages inside were detailed. Things I only told my closest friends in private. Names, places, dates. Stuff I didn't want anyone else to know. I realized someone hacked my account. But more than that, they had been watching me. They knew things only I knew. I changed my password immediately and logged out of every device. But when I tried to sign back in, it said my password was wrong. I was locked out. Desperate, I emailed the school's IT support from my backup account. They told me to reset my password through a special link they sent. I followed the link, but when I opened my email again, my inbox was flooded. New emails were arriving every few seconds, all from me. One subject caught my eye. "Look outside your window." I looked up. Outside my dorm window, it was dark and empty. But then I saw a shadow, a figure standing across the street, just barely visible in the streetlight. My heart started racing. I grabbed my phone to call campus security, but the call didn't go through. The figure didn't move. I closed the curtains fast and locked the window. I sat on my bed shaking, staring at my email. The new messages kept coming. They were detailed, personal, and disturbing. They talked about things I did not share with anyone. Some messages even named people in my classes and my family members. It felt like the hacker was inside my life, not just my email. Days passed, and the emails didn't stopped going out. I stopped talking to friends. I was afraid the hacker was watching me all the time. Then one night, I woke up to my laptop screen lighting up. There was a new email. Subject: I'm closer than you think. The message said, "I'm inside your room right now." I wanted to scream. I grabbed my phone to call 911. It wouldn't work. Then I heard a soft noise behind me, a whisper. I turned around. No one was there. The window was locked, but I could feel someone in the room with me. I stayed frozen until morning. When the sun rose, everything looked normal again. No emails, no messages, no shadows. I told campus security what happened. They searched the area, but found no one. I moved out of the dorm the next day. I still don't know who hacked me. I don't know how they knew so much about me. Sometimes I get scared to open my email, afraid that message will come again. Because the worst part is this: I'm still not sure if they really left my room that night. I never thought my email could become a nightmare until it actually did. It all started when I moved into my new apartment alone for the first time. The place was nothing special. A small one-bedroom on the edge of town, old but affordable. I liked the quiet, the way the sunlight came in through the cracked blinds in the morning, and the creak of the wooden floor under my feet. The first few weeks were peaceful. I settled in, unpacked, and started my new job nearby. But then one night, I got an email that changed everything. I was lying on the couch, scrolling through my phone, when the notification popped up. The sender was unknown. The subject line said, "Welcome home." I opened it. The message was empty. No text, no images, just a blank email. I thought maybe it was a mistake, or some weird spam, so I deleted it. But the next day, I got another one. Same sender. Subject line: "You're not alone." My hands trembled. I showed the email to my roommate, Lisa, who had moved in a week after me. She shrugged and told me it was probably a prank. But that night, things got worse. I was lying in bed, the silence broken only by the faint hum of the heater. Suddenly, my phone lit up with another email notification. I opened it. This time, the email had an attachment, a photo. It was a picture of my apartment building, but not from the street or the front door. It was taken from inside. The angle was from my living room window. My breath caught. How did someone get that photo? I showed Lisa. She went pale. "Call the police," she said. I hesitated. I didn't want to believe someone was spying on me, but deep down, I was terrified. The emails kept coming every night. Each one had a new photo. Sometimes it was the front door, at other times, my bedroom window. One time, I even got a picture of me sleeping. The camera angle was low, almost as if someone was hiding under my bed. I couldn't sleep. I checked the locks 100 times. I put extra locks on the doors and windows. I even moved my bed away from the window. But the emails didn't stop. One night, after a long day at work, I came home to find my front door slightly open. I froze. The smell of wet concrete and dirt hit me as I stepped inside. I called Lisa. She was at her boyfriend's place. I waited, heart pounding, eyes scanning every shadow. Nothing was missing, but the place felt wrong. I checked my laptop. My email was open, and the inbox had hundreds of new emails, all from me. I clicked on one. It said, "You should be careful who you trust." Another was titled, "I'm closer than you think." I deleted all of them, but they kept reappearing. I tried changing my password. No luck. My email was completely hijacked. I started getting calls from unknown numbers. No one spoke, just heavy breathing. One night, I heard faint footsteps outside my bedroom door. I held my breath. The doorknob rattled softly. I pulled the blanket over my head. The emails kept coming. And then, one morning, I woke to find a note slipped under my door. It was written on a torn piece of paper with shaky handwriting. "You can't run. You belong to me now." I packed a bag and called Lisa. We stayed at her place for a few days, but when I checked my email there, I found a new message. Subject: "Missed you last night. I never found out who hacked me or how they got inside my home. But sometimes, when I'm alone at night, my phone lights up with a new email. I don't open it, because I'm afraid of what I'll find, and I'm afraid that whoever is watching me is still out there." I never thought an email could ruin my life, but after what happened, I'm not so sure anymore. It all started when I got a new job working from home. I was excited because I could work in my pajamas and avoid the long commute. The only problem was that all my work was done through my email. Sending reports, chatting with colleagues, even logging into company accounts. One evening, about 2 weeks into the job, I got a strange email. The sender was unknown, and the subject said, "I see you." I almost deleted it without opening, but curiosity got the better of me. The email was empty except for a short line. "Look outside your window." I was alone in my small apartment, which was on the 3rd floor. I looked out the window but saw nothing unusual, just the dark street and some parked cars. I shrugged it off as a weird joke and went back to work. The next day, I started getting odd messages from my work email. Messages I never sent. One was to my boss, saying, "I'm watching everything you do." Another was sent to my coworker, a warning, Stop asking questions. I immediately changed my password and scanned my computer for viruses, but nothing showed up. Then, one evening, while I was typing a report, my email suddenly logged out on its own. When I tried to log back in, it said my password was incorrect. Panic set in. I tried the forgot password option, but the recovery email had been changed. I was locked out. I called my company's IT department, but they said they couldn't help unless I could prove the account belonged to me. I tried logging in from my phone, but the hacker had already taken over completely. That night, I started getting emails from my own account on my personal phone. The messages were horrifying. One subject line was, "I'm inside your apartment." The message read, "I can see your every move." I looked around my apartment, feeling like someone was watching me. The air felt heavy. I heard faint noises, the soft scrape of shoes on the floor. I checked every door and window. They were all locked. But then, my phone screen lit up again. This time, it was a live video link. I hesitated but clicked it. The video showed the inside of my apartment. I saw my couch, my desk, even my kitchen. And then, I saw myself, sitting at my desk, staring at the phone. Frozen. My breath caught in my throat. I didn't know if it was a live feed or recorded. The camera angle was from the corner of the ceiling, somewhere only a hidden camera could reach. Scanned my apartment looking for anything unusual. Nothing. No cameras. No strange devices. I felt exposed. I unplugged my Wi-Fi router and took my phone away. The emails stopped for a few days. I thought maybe the hacker had lost interest. But then, one morning, I found a small envelope slipped under my door. Inside was a printed screenshot of an email I sent to my boss, but written across it in red marker was, "You're mine now." I called the police, but without proof of a break-in, they couldn't do much. I installed security cameras and changed my phone and computer. But every time I felt safe, the emails would start again. One night, while I was trying to sleep, my phone buzzed. The email said, "You can't hide, I'm always watching." I've since moved out of that apartment, but the emails haven't stopped. I've blocked every account, changed every password, but the messages keep coming. Sometimes, when I'm alone in a hotel room or at a friend's place, my phone will light up with a new email. No sender, no subject, just a message that makes my blood run cold. I see you. I don't know who this person is or how they got into my life, but I'm terrified that they never left. And I'm terrified that one day, they might not just watch, but come for me.